Over the last few years, fitness during pregnancy has become a whole movement online, especially amongst influencers. But is this just a healthy evolution and just fitness inspiration, or crossing the line with dangerous obsession with staying marketable at all costs? Are we normalizing something that is unrealistic and potentially dangerous? Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you've not been here before, my name's Leah. Welcome. I like to focus on commenting and reacting to certain videos on social media. So today we are diving into the topic of pregnant social media influencers and obsession with fitness. I am currently nearly 29 weeks pregnant myself, and fitness is something that I am also into. So who better to create a video on something like this than myself? A quick disclaimer: the purpose of this video is to simply review a current trend, looking at TikTok and Instagram videos that portray it, sharing my opinions and other people's opinions in response, debating the overall impact, simply to offer critical reviews in response to the content in order to illustrate and discuss a specific topic. Let's start with the background and context of pregnancy and fitness. So let's get something straight first. Exercise during pregnancy is not bad. In fact, most doctors encourage staying active with appropriate modifications, of course. But of course, every pregnancy is different. Every pregnant person is different. It just seems to be that fitness during pregnancy is becoming more and more of a fashionable thing and more of a trend due to social media. Now, if we think about 10 plus 15 years ago, let's say before Instagram was really a thing, I suppose fitness during pregnancy was less of a heard about thing, but it's becoming more and more normalized. But I kind of want to dive into the benefits of it, but also some of the potential dangers. So let's have a look at what the World Health Organization say about fitness during pregnancy. The World Health Organization recommends that pregnant women engage in at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity per week. This can be broken down into smaller sessions, and even 10-minute spells can be beneficial. According to the NHS, it's important to listen to your body and adjust the intensity and duration as needed, ensuring you can hold a conversation while exercising. So I think that's definitely an important thing, being able to hold a conversation during exercise, so not being completely out of breath. Specific recommendations and considerations. So types of exercise could include walking, swimming, yoga, and gym activities like using a treadmill are all good options. Intensity. You should be able to hold a conversation while exercising, as mentioned before. If you become breathless, slow down. Listen to your body. Don't push yourself too hard, and modify activities as your body changes throughout pregnancy. Warm up and cool down. Always warm up before exercise and cool down afterwards. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water, especially during and after exercise. Avoid strenuous exercise in hot weather. Opt for indoor activities or exercise during cooler hours. Consult with your healthcare provider. If you have any health conditions or complications, talk to your doctor or midwife before starting an exercise program. Pelvic floor exercises. Strengthening your pelvic floor muscles is important during pregnancy and childbirth, according to BBC. Regular physical activity can improve mood, reduce the risk of some pregnancy complications, and help you adapt to your changing body and prepare for labor, according to Tommy's. As a woman who is pregnant herself and does enjoy the gym regularly, so roughly about 3 days a week, more if I can manage, but at the moment I'm just listening to my body, and 3 days a week seems to be fine for me. Pre-pregnancy, I would work out slightly more than that, and my workouts would look different to what they do now. I think the important thing is, as the World Health Organization recommends, you listen to your body. So never do I really push myself to go in the gym. If I plan tomorrow to go in the gym and then when I wake up in the morning I'm not really feeling it, then I will not push myself. I think that's one of the main things that I think is important. There should not be any pressure to go in the gym or to do any form of exercise that you don't feel comfortable doing at that moment in time. Moving obviously is a different story. There's nothing wrong with swapping a gym session for just taking a walk or going for a swim, or perhaps just doing a little bit of yoga in a living room. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at in today's video, is how some influencers do kind of seem to show themselves really pushing themselves in the gym and not willing to fail or give up. That whole keep showing up and no excuses mentality. Something that I've noticed happening more and more on social media. That is one of the things that I am seeing as a risk and potentially harmful to viewers, particularly pregnant viewers, because it may then make them feel like that is something that they need to keep up with. But this is something we'll go more into as the video progresses. So let's have a look at what this OBGYN doctor says about fitness during pregnancy.
Can you keep lifting weights when you're pregnant? Even in the third trimester? Well, the short answer is yes, with a few precautions. Unless you've been told otherwise by your midwife or your doctor, exercise in pregnancy is safe and it's encouraged. The RCOG and the ACOG both say that moderate intensity exercise in pregnancy has benefits like reducing your risk of gestational diabetes, improving your mental health, even potentially shorter labour times. So strength training is totally fine, especially if you were doing it pre-pregnancy, but just avoid any heavy lifting that makes you hold your breath, like big maximum weight deadlifts, lying on your back for long periods after 20 weeks, or any movement that causes you pain or dizziness. You may also notice that your centre of gravity has shifted, and this makes certain movements more risky, like doing jump squats, because you could fall over and injure yourself. Also, too much core work can potentially worsen a diastasis recti when the muscles of the abdominal wall sit slightly to the side to make room for your bump. If you overtrain those muscles, it can make it harder to restore them back to the centre after birth. So ideally, if you want to train hard using weights, please do consult a properly trained professional who can help you to make adjustments as needed. Ultimately, listen to your body, scale as you need to, and of course, always stay hydrated. Pregnancy doesn't mean that you're fragile, but you should be adapting your training as your body changes. So, did you exercise in pregnancy? It's totally fine if you felt too exhausted to. There's no right or wrong here.
Everything that she says in that video is exactly the advice any pregnant woman should be following. So in terms of the weightlifting, which is something that I'm going to be looking at later on, because there are a couple of videos that I found where there are some extreme weightlifting sessions going on. She's saying that you shouldn't be lifting weights that cause you to hold your breath. Now that is something that I have definitely seen happening. Now I understand that the content creators, the influencers that I have witnessed doing this, they are fitness trainers in the first place. And everybody's different. The level of training that they have been doing pre-pregnancy is going to be different. My issue obviously is what they are influencing. The whole point of them being on TikTok and Instagram and what they do on a daily basis is that they are influencers. Now, if you are influencing other pregnant women to do that kind of thing, and it may not be their intention, but the fact is it does influence, that could potentially be a dangerous thing, because unfortunately, some people do not seek proper information online or from professionals. They unfortunately go to TikTok and Instagram for advice. So when they're seeing their favorite influencer who is pregnant at the same time as them doing these things, they're potentially just going to follow without even considering, well, am I capable of doing that? Was I doing it before? They're just going to follow that influencer nonetheless because they are influenced by them. So the obsession and aesthetic pressure of fitness during pregnancy. What does a fitness obsession actually look like? So it may be constant gym content. Now, there might be a pregnant influencer who is continuously uploading gym videos, pregnancy workouts, and reels of them training in the gym. Now, this is completely understandable if they are a fitness influencer pre-pregnancy. Of course, they are most likely going to continue training throughout their pregnancy because that is what they do, unless of course they have any issues with their pregnancy. That is normal. At the end of the day, if they are a fitness influencer, they have got to stay relevant as such. So if they can modify and adapt their content to suit obviously their current situation of being pregnant, then that's what they're going to do. Most of the influencers that I've come across have not really done anything dangerous as such, and they continue to influence in a normal and healthy way. There are just a few that where I feel like the content that they're putting out there could potentially be toxic and, if anything, dangerous towards influencing others. Another thing that I've come across is this idea of having shredded abs during pregnancy. In the first trimester is where they are not likely to have a pregnancy bump yet and still maintain their abs. So when they're putting videos out there and they're saying 16 weeks pregnant and they have still got a six-pack, that is quite common amongst the fitness influencers. Then you do get some of the influencers that have gone way into their second trimester and still see seem to have these abs during pregnancy, which starts to, obviously the further they go into their trimester, it becomes wilder and wilder, because that is an unusual thing. You get more pregnant women who have an actual bump during their second trimester in comparison to women who have shredded abs during their second trimester. But it is not impossible. There are some pregnant women who have had shredded abs through the entirety of their pregnancy. I have got an example of that coming up shortly. And then of course we've got the emphasis on the snapping back. So this whole idea of the obsession of the training during pregnancy, is the purpose of it so that they are making sure and securing that whole objective of snapping back after pregnancy? Is this the reason why they are training so hard? A lot of them say that they're training hard during their pregnancy for mental health, well-being. It's to keep their energy up. It's to make sure that they are strong and healthy during their pregnancy, to try and enable themselves to have a really good layback. But is the real intention to make sure that they snap back and snap back very quickly? I managed to find a pretty old news video from a few years back. This is kind of roughly around the time that this trend of training during pregnancy started to really come about in the media. And I think it focuses on one or two influencers in specific who are well into fitness and the backlash that they faced during their pregnancy because they continued to train just as hard as they did pre-pregnancy.
Two American obsessions: body size and social media. We're talking about so-called fit moms, women who work out aggressively while pregnant, all the while posting pictures and videos on Instagram. The backlash has been intense, and here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
It seems nothing will prevent 31-year-old Stacey Vinagro from getting to the gym.
That's going to be
Not even
pre-pregnancy.
She spent so much of her life training for fitness competitions. A 3-time champion of Miss World Pro. But now Stacey's famous for being fit in another way. She's a so-called fit mom. Stacey's part of a group of Instagram mothers, or mothers-to-be, who've gained social stardom for their highly ambitious workout routines. Baby or not.
They're working out, whether it's walking every day or it's doing CrossFit every day. That's what a fit mom is.
Every
Stacey,
day.
who gave birth to her first child, Aiden, in March, says she worked out for the entirety of her pregnancy, right up until the day she gave birth.
My workout routine
I never understand this whole training, doing these exercises with your newborn baby right next to you. I mean, yeah, if they're in a car seat or something, I don't know. I never understand this need to do that. It's like you cannot let go of the workout. Like, can you not make time when you've perhaps got time away from your baby to do that? Well, I might get some hate for that, but I just don't really. I mean, don't get me wrong. In the past, I've had my babies with me a couple of times when I've had to go in the gym, but my gym's at home. I just don't get that. Doing the shoulder tap things with your baby beneath you, it kind of just screams trying to prove a point. Anyway.
of 6 days a week of weight training. And then I did 3 days a week of cardiovascular because I was doing box jumps, stuff like that. As long as I felt good, I would do that.
6 days a week of weight training and 3 days a week of cardiovascular during pregnancy. What is the goal?
She decided to document it all on her Instagram account, sharing her workout videos and belly progression photos with her 13,000 plus followers.
Because a lot of people look up to me and they see me as inspiration, I felt like this next chapter in my life, I got to show them, like, you can still work out when you're pregnant as long as you feel good.
But with the popularity
feel good.
came backlash. The more attention her account got, the more criticism she got.
Somebody said gross. Somebody put like a weird face. As a woman who has battled her weight her entire life and whose pregnancies made their battle even more challenging, it's kind of hard to view this without wincing.
New mother Sia Cooper also knows what it's like to feel the internet's wrath. Like Stacey, she worked out intensely throughout her pregnancy.
I worked out until the day that I gave birth. I did about 30 minutes on the treadmill and I did barbell curls, I did barbell squats.
This is one of the things that I'm kind of on the fence about, is the excessive amount of training that they seem to do. I get it that they had, a brutal training regime pre-pregnancy. And obviously they are at a fitness level that they can keep that up. But at the same time, do you need to keep that up? That's the question. Do you really need to? Can you not just give yourself a little bit of a break? Can you not just slow it down just a little bit and appreciate that you have life growing inside of you? I don't know. It's a It's a funny topic. In terms of the comments and the backlash that they get from people, I understand. Obviously, people shock and horror at the intensity of the training. It does make you wince when you watch it, but then that's when we're bringing in the whole comparison thing. Just because you are unable to do it doesn't mean that they should not do it. But the question is, are they pushing themselves? And I think that's one of the things that people, they kind of, assume. When we see these videos, we think they are really pushing it. And I think that's what is so kind of shocking about it to us viewers. In terms of when they start comparing themselves and, I really struggled. I get that, but at the same time, that is not this influencer's fault. So just because other women have struggled in their pregnancies and they're unable to do certain things doesn't mean that they should stop and they should not. But I'm guessing that the issue here is the amount of content that they're putting out. And I guess the insensitiveness about it, because at the end of the day, if you are influencing people, I think they need to understand that this is not for everyone. And I think that's what one of the issues is here.
Her nearly 200,000 followers on Instagram.
A lot of the ladies that follow me, they seek inspiration in keeping, fit during pregnancy.
It used to be women were criticized for gaining what some say was too much weight during pregnancy. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Kelly Clarkson, or Kim Kardashian. Now, the pendulum swinging in another way. Stacey was criticized for being too in shape, getting called out for her six-pack stomach while pregnant. Dr. Robin Silverman says social media provides a shroud of anonymity that fuels the shaming culture.
And it creates a community
Or experience.
Stretch it out.
Here,
rather than simply says what's on their mind.
lingerie model Sarah Stage had a similar experience.
Stretch it out.
Here, she's 9 months pregnant.
How's the baby doing?
Baby's good.
Kicking?
Yeah, he's kicking a lot.
Like Stacey and Sia, she decided to document her pregnancy on Instagram, sharing photos of her slender bump with her 2 million followers.
Taking a selfie in the mirror in, lingerie, I was doing that before I was pregnant. So to show my belly, I was excited. So I don't think it was anything odd or strange or unique. I mean, I think a lot of women, they document their pregnancy.
But not all women can bounce back from pregnancy like these fit moms. Sarah's post triggering a social media uproar, with people posting hateful comments like, "Where's the baby hiding at? Definitely not in her tummy."
Women tend to shame other women for a variety of reasons. Other people may shame because they truly believe that if it is the case that a woman can be thin and pregnant, that perhaps they have themselves not done a good enough job while they are pregnant.
And by looking at Sarah's photos, many questioned the health of her unborn baby. 9 months along, Sarah still worked out with a trainer twice a week and had managed to keep up her defined abs.
I remember Sarah Stage. This is from years ago. I remember her pregnancy on Instagram. She was one of probably the first influencers that I witnessed doing fitness during pregnancy. I have done some digging and I had to go onto her Instagram and go way back. I think it's 2017 or something insane like that, where I found her pregnancy pictures and videos. Now, looking at Sarah Stage, I would say that her fitness regime was nothing intense. I think that hers is purely down to genetics. What she has before anyway, naturally, but then also what she managed to achieve during her fitness days pre-pregnancy, very defined abs. I think that's just because her abs are so strong. I think it took a very, very long time for her to essentially grow a bump, and to the point where she got to 9 months pregnant, and you can see in her pictures that it's a very small and very compact pregnancy bump. It's not something that we would see every day, but it is definitely not uncommon. And I think what happens then is, because people are so used to not seeing something like that, straight away they think something's wrong. She went on to have a healthy pregnancy and she gave birth to a very healthy baby, so it just proves there's no issue there with what she was doing. You can see in her fitness videos, although it's sped up, it looks like very light work. She doesn't appear to be pushing herself. If we compare her to the other two influencers in this news report, they seem to be training in a very intense way, which I think then obviously can be quite a toxic and dangerous thing towards pregnant viewers. Like the woman mentioned, it makes them feel guilty. They're not doing the same thing because I don't look like that, because I don't have abs during pregnancy. I'm not doing it right. They question themselves. themselves and they compare their experience, their body image to these influencers, and that is one of the problems.
Stacey Vinegro, who's a personal trainer herself, says much of her shape during her pregnancy came from years of athletic work.
Not the using the cable machine when you've got a baby in your baby carrier. See, this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. This is the kind of toxic, abnormal content that I'm talking about. Is there any need for you to be training like that with a baby in your baby carrier? Again, like, I know I'm probably going to get some hate in the comments, but I just don't agree. To me, that's pushing it too far, and this is what is one of the problems. You are then making new moms feel lazy. Instead of enjoying being with their baby and relaxing, feeding their baby and having some quality time with their baby, they should be doing exercise at any given moment. Put the baby in the baby carrier. Get on with your workout. This is not a good message. In my opinion, this is not a good message to put out. There is nothing wrong with finding time to get somebody to take care of your baby whilst you work out. If you cannot get somebody to take care of your baby, then there is nothing wrong with putting your baby down in a carrier or in a bassinet or whatever and fitting some exercise in. But to put your baby in a baby carrier, that is that whole I'm trying to prove a point thing. That is over the top. And I just think, just why?
Because my body has
gosh,
been
now
so
she's
fit
using
leading up
dumbbells.
to this. It was going to take a lot just to get a big giant belly.
According to the American Congress of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, exercising is recommended during pregnancy,
course.
and that, quote, physical activity does not increase your risk of miscarriage, low birth weight, or early delivery. But they recommend that you first get the okay from your healthcare professional.
So first get the okay from your healthcare professional, not from influencers. That means asking your midwife, asking your doctor, not influencers. So let's think about some of the pros of the pregnant influencers putting out fitness content. Okay, so it promotes staying active and strong. It should motivate other pregnant women to stay active and stay strong during their pregnancies. It also destigmatizes movement during pregnancy. The ideas where people say, oh, you shouldn't be doing this during pregnancy, you should be taking it easy, you should put your feet up, shouldn't be lifting anything, kind of goes against that. As we have learned from some of the healthcare professionals, movement during pregnancy is okay, unless you have complications, of course. It also can inspire healthy habits. When we're watching some of these fitness influencers during their pregnancy, the healthy habits that they are promoting, it could inspire us, of course. There are some influencers that I've managed to find that I follow myself, and I've watched their journey, and yes, they influence in the right way. But there are some who I disagree with some of the content that they're putting out and some of the health habits that they're trying to promote. It just breaks the outdated stereotypes that pregnant women are fragile and that they should completely change their lifestyle. Yes, get rid of some things, but don't completely eliminate absolutely everything. It also normalizes staying strong, healthy, and active. Some of the influencers offer genuinely helpful content and can inspire healthy habits. Now, thinking about the cons. Some of the cons of some of this content that they're putting out, it promotes unrealistic body expectations. Not everybody is capable of continuing the same level of training throughout their pregnancy that they were maintaining before, and that's okay. Not all pregnant women are able to maintain abs throughout their first and second trimesters. This is unrealistic. The risk of misinformation. How many of these influencers are actually qualified fitness trainers? Or is it something that they just fell into doing? They enjoy fitness. They were creating fitness content. And then obviously they fell pregnant and continued to do fitness content. How many of them are actually qualified and know exactly what they're talking about and know everything about fitness during pregnancy? Doing advanced moves, for example, during pregnancy, that might not be safe at all. They haven't modified their workouts. They haven't changed certain things. They are promoting certain core exercises that are in fact dangerous to do when they're pregnant. So misinformation is a big thing, and that of course can be very dangerous, because if you are influencing other pregnant women to do these specific exercises and they're copying you and it causes complications for you, that is very dangerous. A lot of the influencers, they will put in their captions, whether, you know, if they're not a professional, that's covering themselves. But how many of them are making a mistake and not doing that? Some of them are quite vocal about you should listen to your body, or just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that it's going to be suitable for you. And then another con, of course, is that it triggers social comparison and mum guilt. So we get viewers watching this content and thinking, I don't look like that. I can't do that. Why can't I do that? They start feeling guilty. And let's face it, it just makes them feel like crap. Thinking about some of these negative impacts that these pregnancy fitness social media influencers, content creators can have, I have managed to get together a few videos of some influencers that I think do kind of give out the wrong message. First example of a video that I've got is from someone called Rula Fitness that I found on TikTok. The routine that she's doing, I think, could potentially be harmful, and I don't think there's any need for a pregnant woman to be training like this. Okay. I'm not sure if this video is sped up. I suspect that it may be. But see the burpees over a barbell. The push-ups. So this is an example of, I mean, yeah, she doesn't say how far gone she is in her pregnancy there, but I would probably, you know, I'd estimate that she's well into her 3rd trimester. I'd say that she's close towards the end of her pregnancy. I don't know whether I look at this and think like this is inspirational. It is too fast paced. Like I said, it may be sped up, but even without it being sped up, it is quite intense. Would she be out of breath once she's complete this session? My guess is that she probably would. Heart rate and her temperature would be up. You know, I'm not an expert, but if I'm doing a workout, I take a break if my heart rate starts going up. I'll sit down, I'll wait for my heart rate to go down before I continue. I also don't like to get too hot and too sweaty. I don't want my body temperature to increase too quickly. I feel like this level of training is only okay if it's something that you're used to before the pregnancy. I'm not sure why some pregnant influencers feel that they need to continue doing this at the very end of their pregnancy. Again, that's personal preference. I just don't understand what the actual aim of training like this is. Is it to make sure that you stay in shape and you do not gain any weight? I suspect that it may be. I think that some of these influencers are afraid of gaining weight, so that's why the intensity of their workout stays so high. I don't know, might be wrong, might get some hate in the comments, I don't know. So the next influencer that I'm going to look at is a influencer that I actually follow on Instagram called Hannah Oberg. She is a fitness trainer, I think, but she's definitely a fitness influencer, doing fitness content before her pregnancy, throughout her pregnancy, and then will continue to do it after her pregnancy. So that's what her platform is. I had noticed that Hannah was getting quite a bit of backlash in her comments from her fitness videos. I can understand why she would get some backlash, but then at the same time, I understand why she continues to train and able to continue to train in that way because it's something she was doing before. But let's take a look at her videos. The hip thrusts. Okay, this is like a hard workout. It's very strong. Notice her face at the end of her session. It's quite obvious that she is pushing herself throughout this video. That's one thing that I'm a bit like, is there any need? I know obviously you've achieved a lot pre-pregnancy and you are lifting heavy weights. I get that, but her face kind of suggests that this is hard. Is there any need for that during pregnancy, especially at this stage of your pregnancy? Probably not. So I think that this is potentially why she starts to get backlash, because it looks uncomfortable. Also the fact that she's doing the hip thrusts with the dumbbells, that makes me nervous. It's her body, it's her pregnancy, it's up to her. Nobody should be able to tell her what to do. You know, I'm simply responding with my thoughts. It makes me feel a little like, whoa, you know, I've had to stop with the hip thrust because I can't figure out a comfortable way to do them in my pregnancy with my bump. And I'm not at that level yet with the bump size. I just find it almost impossible for me to be able to do it without touching my bump. So let's have a look at the comments here. Oh my God, is this not dangerous? Be careful, please. It's just a natural response that you can't help but feel when watching her video. Aren't you scared the dumbbell is gonna fall on your belly on the hip thrust? It looks dangerous. And that's my thoughts exactly. It does look a little risky. I mean, at the size of the dumbbells and the weight of them, it would just take just one slip to, I don't know. I'm just a bit nervous about that. Clearly she isn't, you know, she knows what she's doing, but remember, we're thinking about people's reactions. We're thinking about the influence this is having. And so far, it's not good when you're looking at the comments. Question, do you go higher in weight as you progress, or do you kind of stay around the same weight? I'm recently pregnant and low-key scared to move up in weight. So we've got someone there actually asking her for advice. Let's see if she got a response to that question. I'm pretty sure you can keep the weight and decrease a bit if it's causing too much strain, but not increase. If you got stronger with the movements and they feel good, then even if you're pregnant, you can increase the weight as long as it's not putting too much strain. Now, these responses have not even come from Hannah herself. So she hasn't actually replied. She hasn't responded. I don't think she really does respond much to her followers. I think maybe more on Instagram. This is on TikTok. But we don't know who these two people are who have responded. Are they specialists? Like, are they qualified fitness trainers, or are they just going off what they think? This is where it gets potentially dangerous, because we've got somebody here who's saying that they are pregnant and they're asking for advice. This is one of the issues. You don't know if she's taken that advice that she's been given by these people. You don't know if that advice is actually correct. So that's one thing, obviously, to bear in mind. We have got impressionable pregnant women watching this content asking for advice. I can't believe what people are doing these days. Bulgarians while pregnant is wild. Respect. Yeah, I mean, it is. Bulgarians, I mean, I can't stand Bulgarians, but they are very beneficial. I have continued to do them in pregnancy, but I have decreased the weight, and that's purely because of balance. We've also had advice to say that keeping up with your fitness can actually help with the balance. Guys, this is perfectly safe, especially if she's been doing it like this before she was pregnant. Agreed. Don't know about perfectly safe, everything that she's doing in the video. She was doing it before pregnancy, the weights and everything. Yes, safe for her. Is it safe for you? Bulgarian split spots while pregnant. Girl, give yourself a break. And that's one thing, I do feel like she needs a break. When I'm watching the video, I'm like, she's really pushing herself, and it's kind of like, maybe you should take some time off the gym. It's okay to take a break. Please remember, all bodies are different. Not every pregnancy can handle this. It's true. Please be safe and don't attempt these things without your doctor's consent. This person is 100% right. This is something that Hannah, I feel, should have been putting in her caption herself. She should be expressing that. She should be responding to her followers. Thank God somebody has said it on her behalf. Glutes, 26 weeks pregnant, so no sound. See, she's really pushing for those hip thrusts. It's the facial expressions for me. It's the really pushing hard, which great for her because she can, but not so good for the viewers. Any impressionable people being influenced. Yeah, so it looks like she's, at 26 weeks pregnant, she's pushing hard. She's still in her second trimester, going in heavy with the weights, and she's not gonna stop. I'm pretty sure she carries on training up until 40 weeks pregnant or something like that, which again, it's normal. If you can listen to your body, but it's the pushing. Let's take a look at the comments. It looks scary to me. What if the dumbbell falls on your belly? I would love to keep lifting during pregnancy, but how do you stay safe? We don't get any response again, I don't think. So no response from Hannah. Anything you did pre-pregnancy is typically okay to keep doing during pregnancy, unless you're high risk or your doctor says don't. So my mic was off that whole time. But again, just no response from Hannah herself. And again, nothing in the caption about this is okay for me, but you weren't doing this pre-pregnancy, I wouldn't advise, or, you know, make sure you seek medical advice prior to it. Nothing about that. Hey, you must clarify it to people that this kind of weightlifting is not for the first 3 months of pregnancy. I don't know whether that's facts, but again, I agree with that person. You must clarify it to people about the weightlifting. I'm not sure about the 3 month thing. While there's no definitive weight limit for lifting during pregnancy, it's generally recommended to avoid heavy lifting, especially in the first trimester, as it can increase the risk of miscarriage or other complications. If you lifted weights before pregnancy, you can likely continue with modifications. But if you're new to lifting, consult your doctor. I don't know how much of it is true about the first 3 months. But yeah, she definitely should clarify that to people. Just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that you copy. But hey ho. I lost my 6 weeks because of, I think we need to kind of like reword that because of the way they've written it. I lost mine at 6 weeks because of this type of ridiculous promotion. Please be aware you should not do any heavy lifting in the first 3 months. So sadly, this person is saying that they had a loss in their first trimester, and they're putting it down to this type of promotion. Whether it's fair to blame it on that, because it could be down to something else, we don't know. It kind of then just touches on what I was talking about before, how this can be harmful, it can be dangerous. Look, I would be a hypocrite if I said what she's doing is wrong, going in the gym and lifting weights, because I certainly go in the gym and I lift weights. The difference is, and yeah, I'm gonna compare here. I'm not on the same level as her. Like I'm not a fitness trainer. I'm not qualified or anything like that. But I have been lifting weights for years now, and I like to think that I know what I'm doing. I definitely do not go into the gym and push myself to the point where I'm pulling faces like that. I'm sweating. Just know I have probably reduced my intensity by between 25% and 50%. I won't lift heavy weights if I don't have the energy. If I feel like that's a struggle, I'm not going to do it. I'm certainly not going to do reps until failure. It's just no, I'm not going to put a dumbbell anywhere near my bump and try and do hip thrusts. I'm fine with just forgetting the hip thrust for now. I'm fine with letting go of my ego. And, you know, if I'm going to lose muscle from my glutes, then so be it, because I'm growing a baby at the moment and it's fine. I can get that back later. We can work on it later. I just think that what she's doing is she wants to keep up with this weight training. She doesn't really want her body to change that much, I'm guessing. She wants to keep that strength up. And that's fine. Do that. But make sure you make it clear to your followers that you're doing this. And it's okay if they don't do the same. I mean, she's even putting the names of the workouts that she's doing with the amount of reps that she's doing in the caption. So that to me is influencing. That's saying you can do this workout too. So here's what I do. It's the pushing for me, that mentality of keep showing up, no excuses. I'm going to keep doing it until I am ready to drop. I'm having contractions. Anyway, we're going to now move on to a third influencer that I think is potentially harmful, toxic with the level of fitness and workouts that she has been promoting. This is from a couple of years ago. I wanted to include this influencer because I remember her specifically. I just had my second child. My algorithm brought her along to me. She was going in with her training and it was something I noticed. I think I followed her for a while, but then I had to unfollow because I found it toxic. I didn't agree with the content she's putting out there. She got a lot of backlash. She's still got her content up there, luckily, so I've managed to get the videos and the pictures. I've noticed that the comments at the time when she was releasing this content, I know that the comments have been taken off. She's got positive comments on there, but no longer really has any negative. But she's chose to keep the content up. This trainer is called Danny Fit. Danny Fit comes across to me like a bit of a bodybuilder in the way that her physique, and I think it's more the posing that she does in her videos. So, you know, the bikini contest kind of bodybuilding fitness trainers. But yeah, she puts out content. She has training programs, I think maybe an app or something. So I'm guessing she's a fully qualified fitness trainer. But the message that she gave out during pregnancy, I really don't agree with. She was running on a treadmill in her pregnancy. She was 8 months pregnant at the time. Running, I know, is not harmful during pregnancy. I ran during my second pregnancy. I cannot run during this pregnancy. I'm guessing it's because pre this pregnancy, for months now, I'd kind of cut running out. I got bored of it, and I was doing, you know, the elliptical trainer. I used to be a proper fanatic with the running before getting pregnant this time. I kind of cut the running out and I started to focus more on my weight training. So I did less cardio. So of course it makes sense that now I cannot really run. I try and run and it just gives me aches. I will feel uncomfortable. It's just not for me, so I won't do it. But I know that there's women, you know, who carry on running for their pregnancies. It's fine. I ran for my second pregnancy. So there's no issue there. But the manner of it is the running on the treadmill, like, gotta keep this up, fitness, like, we don't want to gain any weight. That's the impression that I get from Danny Fit. I can't help it. That's just my reaction. But yeah, of course, the comments on her, the negative ones were removed. And I'm telling you, I remember there being negative comments, definitely. God, I love the way you continue to inspire me. Boss, you are the best. Let's go. She's got nothing but, like, you know, praise for what she's doing. Then we've got this video, 4 weeks out. She's doing some kind of like bikini contest looking pose, showing off her muscles, and then from giving birth. The message that video is giving me is she doesn't look pregnant at all from behind. And then when she turns around, you can see her little bump. But my question is, why do some of these fitness influencers feel that they have to do that? And there's another one that I've spotted do something similar. Why do you feel that you should do that whole trickery thing where, oh, look, I don't look pregnant from behind, but when I turn around, I am pregnant. So you're basically trying to say, look, that part of my body has not changed. It's still the same. You can't tell that I'm pregnant, but then how can you tell when someone's pregnant from behind? It's questionable for me. I look at that and I think, why do you feel the need to create a piece of content like that? How does it make other women feel? But 4 weeks out, look at me, I'm 4 weeks out from giving birth, and that is her physique. I can't help but feel that, like, she just comes across as quite smug when she's holding her belly, and it's like, and she's got the laughing, crying face as well. I don't know about that. We have a comment here. She says, you look amazing. I do have a question for you though. So the doctor told me I need to put on 25 to 35 pounds. Did you purposely put on weight for the baby, or was it all natural weight, like the weight of the baby, the weight of the placenta, extra blood, things like that? Danny has responded and said, I have only put on 1 kilo so far. At the end of her pregnancy, 4 weeks to go until birth, I've only put on 1 kilo so far. To me, that screams that, yeah, the issue is to avoid putting on too much weight. And that to me is wild. I don't really track my weight. I'm not into the scales that much. But last time I checked, this was probably about 3 weeks ago now, I weighed myself. So I would have been 25 weeks pregnant. Before pregnant, I was 67 kg. Bear in mind, I had hyperemesis, so I lost a ton of weight in my first trimester. But now I've put the weight back on. I had returned to my previous weight. So imagine I went from 67 kg, I went down to about 60 kg. And then I've managed to come back up now and I'm 71 kg. So my original weight, 67 kg, and now 71 kg. I've put on 4 kg and I will continue to put on more. I've just gone into the 3rd trimester. I will continue to put on more weight. It doesn't bother me. And that was 3 weeks ago. So I've probably gone past the 71 kg. I am not bothered about that. I do not care. 1 kilo so far. And that's all that she had to say to this person who's asked her a question. It's just wild to me.
I'm now 29 weeks pregnant and I'm going to show you how to stay in great shape throughout your pregnancy, even into the 3rd trimester. Enjoy more or less the same exercises you did before you fell pregnant with safe adaptations without feeling as if you're confined to things like just doing swimming pool yoga. Avoid unwanted, unnecessary fat gain. Click the link in my bio for a 7-day free trial to my app. I will see you there and show you how.
Yeah. So she's promoting staying in shape throughout your pregnancy, pretty much being able to do the same kind of workouts that you were doing before. As she mentions, unnecessary fat gain. How to stay in great shape throughout your pregnancy, even into the 3rd trimester. Are all pregnant women not doing an amazing thing? Are all pregnant women not beautiful? for doing this amazing thing. This is the kind of toxic message that I am talking about. This is the kind of thing that I do not like. When she's saying about unnecessary fat gain, some women cannot help but gain fat during their pregnancy. We are encouraged to gain a little bit of weight during our pregnancy because it's healthy for the baby. But when you're saying unnecessary fat gain, that to me is targeting a certain type of pregnant woman. Is she not considering the complications that some women may face during a pregnancy? That some of them, no matter how hard they try, they cannot avoid gaining weight. There's some that are not able to continue with physical activity. And it also seems that she's dragging things like swimming and yoga. So it's not okay to just do swimming and yoga then throughout my pregnancy, even if I did it every day. But no, we have to do weight training. We should strive to be like Danny Fit. We should strive to stay in great shape because that should be one of our main priorities during pregnancy. You see where I'm going with this? The main priority is not the baby's health, but the way that you feel, the way that you look, staying in great shape. This is the wrong message. Yeah, again, like I said, the comments have changed since I first saw these videos. Had I known back in 2021 or 2022 when I first saw these that I was going to make a reaction video to this, then I could have screenshotted. But yeah, you just get things like, you know, she looks incredible, haha, you're amazing, you look great. 27 weeks pregnant, vacuums. Okay, so she's doing this vacuuming exercise where she's sucking in her tummy. And apparently that's supposed to be very good for your abs, for helping you maintain a flat stomach. She's doing that at 27 weeks pregnant. But yeah, she has got another video where she talks about the benefits of vacuuming, which yeah, I don't disagree with, but she's promoting doing it during pregnancy, and I don't understand the need for it. To the extent that she does it. I mean, I had a go at it the other day. I tried it, and it causes like a little bit of a twinge here, a bit of pain. No. But yeah, this is something she was doing regularly throughout her pregnancy, and that is to keep her stomach muscles intact. I just don't see the need for it. She's put on the caption, not my best demo since I've had 3 decafs and a large bowl of cereal. So you're basically saying your belly's a bit more full than normal. But engaging the TVA during pregnancy is great for maintaining a strong core to prep for childbirth and assist in abdominal rehabilitation afterwards. I don't disagree. All my pregnancy diet and workout guides will be on my new app. So she's promoting her app and that. So she is monetizing off her pregnancy fitness videos. But again, I just think that this to me is a little obsessive. Doing this vacuuming during pregnancy, she needs to say, this isn't something I would recommend that you start if you weren't doing it before. We've got a comment here. I completely understand staying fit and you are clearly healthy and an inspiration, but why are you doing that vacuum? Is it an exercise? She says, yes, it is to strengthen the transverse abdominis and helps to keep the pelvic floor strong for childbirth. To me, I feel like the intention is something else. I feel like the intention is not to make birth a little bit, your labour a bit easier, or to help with your abdominals throughout your pregnancy and stay strong. I honestly feel like it's a vanity thing. Like there is a fear there of gaining weight, of losing the abs, and I think the intention there is to make sure that the snapback process is so much easier and so much quicker. Like, why does it matter so much is my question. Now, she did this post where she's got a picture of herself in the mirror. She's, again, showing the back of her. It's to promote her fitness app, I'm guessing. What they say pregnancy does to you. She's got a picture of that character from SpongeBob. Oh, forgive me, I forget his name. I'll probably get dragged in the comments for not knowing his name. But eating a burger, what 20 weeks pregnant can be for you. No. This is what 20 weeks pregnant is for you. This can't be 20 weeks pregnant for everyone. And she needs to be clear about that. This couldn't be 20 weeks pregnant for me. I'm a different physique. So you're telling me that I could train once I found out I was pregnant and get to look like that? Is that a good thing? So pregnant women should strive to look like that. So we don't want to eat We shouldn't have treats. We shouldn't eat burgers. We should aim to be like that. She says in the caption, I'm not saying there is any right or wrong way to look when you're pregnant. But if you want to keep yourself and your child in optimal health, head over to my new site. App coming soon with all your workout pregnancy needs. Let's do this, girls. I really do not like this. I'm not saying there is any right or wrong way to look when you're pregnant. I kind of feel like you do in your content, your pregnancy content. I feel like you kind of are trying to influence women that, you know, they should look more like how you do. I think there's a great level of vanity and a fear of gaining weight, also a strive to get that snapback as quick as you can. This is not healthy, in my opinion. As a fitness influencer, if you're pregnant, yes, you should promote staying active, modifying your workouts to suit your pregnancy needs. You should be listening to your body. Don't push yourself, and then also do not feel guilty if you cannot work out that day. That is definitely what they should be promoting. Yes, you should eat healthy, but do not be afraid to give in to your cravings now and again. Because to me, that is healthy. That is healthy for the mind. It is healthy for the body. I'm sorry, but I really disagree with this. I will eat healthily throughout the day, my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, but I'm not afraid of eating a cake. If I want to eat that cake, I'm going to eat that damn cake, best believe. I will drink Coca-Cola, okay? That is one of my cravings. I will have that one Coca-Cola if I feel like it. In the comments that we've got, fit women are okay, but pregnant women are beautiful no matter what their pre-baby exercise routine was. Completely agree with this. This is one of the comments that's been left on here that I think, yes. We've got this other post from her where she's got this list of do's and don'ts. Got the red X's. Pregnant women shouldn't lift. So we were raised in a generation that believed pregnant women should eat for two. Before this was a thing, you're eating for two, but I think that we all know now that you don't literally eat for two. You do feel a little bit hungrier sometimes. You go through phases. In a third trimester, I would say that we eat a little less, but we get cravings, okay? But that doesn't mean that we should eat for two. I think we all know that. Pregnant women shouldn't lift. Exercise will harm your baby. So these are things that she's saying is wrong. I agree with that. Pregnant women should lift if they want to, if they were doing it pre-pregnancy. Taking up exercise when pregnant is unadvisable. See, and she's put that that's wrong. She needs to be more specific there, because taking up specific exercises is unadvisable. So if you were pregnant, if you get pregnant and then you didn't do any kind of weight training before, and then all of a sudden you want to start getting into CrossFit whilst you're pregnant, I would say that that's probably unadvisable. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I think she's wrong here. Taking up exercise, though, in general, on the other hand, whilst pregnant, it's not completely unadvisable, right? But you'd have to seek medical advice first. You'd have to speak to your doctor. You'd have to speak to your midwife. She needs to be more specific. Being pregnant will make you fat, and you need to gain fat for the good of your child. Notice the air quotes for the fat. I think that this woman has some kind of fear of fat, in my opinion. Being pregnant will make you fat. It can make you gain weight, of course it can. And sometimes that can be uncontrollable. It can be out of your hands. Stop. Stay strong and engage your pelvic floor daily with safe core exercise, such as a vacuum. I'm going to skip the vacuum for now, thanks Danny. I don't think I need to do that for a strong pelvic floor. Continue doing what your body tells you is comfortable. Exactly right. But you seem to be promoting extreme levels of training, so that goes against that. Eat what you fancy, but don't use pregnancy as an excuse to binge. It contradicts what you were showing in that other image with the cartoon eating the burger. Don't, eat what you fancy. You ain't gonna enjoy being pregnant when you're postnatal. Unwanted fat to lose. So don't get dragged down by those telling you to put your feet up and get fat. See, this is the kind of toxic content that I'm talking about. The amount of times this woman has said fat, to me it's damaging. I'm not sure who your OBGYN is, but mine never told me to eat for two, avoid exercise or get fat during my pregnancies. Exactly right. I think the priority has to be on baby. While I would not judge anyone's choices, reasonable weight gain is normal during pregnancy. Completely agree with that. And then Danny said, priority should always be the baby, 100, which is another reason to stay healthy. Yeah, but reasonable weight gain, why can't you respond to that part? But it's like she's just completely overlooked that part. It seems to me like she believes that you should not really gain any weight. Who tells pregnant women to sit around and get fat? When I was pregnant, they said to continue doing your normal routine, Rest is important if you have additional medical issues. Exactly. No one tells pregnant women it's okay to get fat. Doctors, nurses say continue to eat healthy and stay active. This crazy fear of getting fat has become this weird delusion. Tired of the amount of times I said fat recently. And I think that, but this person saying this crazy fear of getting fat has become this weird delusion. I think that Danny Fit seems to be expressing some kind of fear of getting fat and promoting the don't get fat thing. It's during a pregnancy. Does it matter if you gain a heap of weight during a pregnancy because you couldn't manage to stay active because you were struggling and you had some kind of medical issue, or you had no energy, you had a whole lot of sickness and just needed to get through the pregnancy, and you ended up putting on some weight, but you can lose it after, as long as it doesn't harm the baby. Can't believe you're allowed to write stuff like this on a social platform. Appalling. Get fat. The girl's openly a fattest, and apparently that's okay. There wasn't a response from Danny for that, but yet she responds to a lot of other comments. I wonder why. Looking at this video, 24 weeks pregnant. This is in the mirror. You would not look at her and think that she's 24 weeks pregnant. 16 to go. I'm loving growing. It is silently saying 24 weeks pregnant, but I know that I don't know 24 weeks pregnant. And what she gets in the comments, I would say, is exactly what she's looking for. Nothing but praise, nothing but, you don't look 24 weeks pregnant. I think the whole intensity of her training during a pregnancy and what she was doing with the vacuuming and everything and the obsession she seemed to be showing. I didn't show you a video on it, but like even the running, the mounting, running and everything. I believe from watching her content that the whole purpose of that was to make sure that she got that snapback, and snapback she did. She puts a video up saying 60 hours postpartum. 60 hours. She hasn't put 2 days, 3 days. She's put 60 hours. Just let that sink in. 60 hours. Why couldn't you say 3 days? Because no, it's not 3 days. It's a little more than 2 days, but it's less than 3 days. I just want to clarify that. It's taken me 60 hours. Look at the shape of me. Can you believe that? The gloating here. 60 hours postpartum physique. What is the purpose of this, do you think? I'd love to know in the comments. Is this normal? Because I've not seen any other fitness influencers do this so soon in this manner. I mean, they've put pictures up and with their baby, and you can see that, you know, they're on the verge of snapping back already, and it's very subtle. The intention is different, but this intention here, I feel, this is that toxic content. Then after, she has then done 3 days postpartum, my top 3 core exercises. 3 days postpartum, she's doing core exercises. She's doing the vacuuming. Then she's doing some like leg raise type things and more vacuuming. 3 days after giving birth that you're straight on it. But why? Should we all keep up with this instead of just enjoying the newborn bubble? She got a bit of backlash for this. I mean, she's put in the caption, postpartum core exercise to regain strength in the transverse and rectus abdominis. I started after 48 hours. You can too if you didn't have a C-section. But can they and should they if they haven't had a C-section? I'm not a medical professional. Well done. Always seek medical advice before performing pre or postnatal exercises. Damn, you need mental and physical help. I hope you get the help you need and your baby is safe. So obviously they're referring to the fact that she's jumped straight in and just can't help herself and started doing these exercises 48 hours after giving birth. So disordered. Girls, take care of your health. I don't know, it looks like some coning going on with their hip lift. So people start mentioning that she's got coning. So the line that you can see in the video where she's doing her glute bridges. So linear elbow is stretched out during pregnancy. You should take more time before doing exercises that cause coning, or doming is another term. Somebody's trying to give her advice. I don't know, looks like some coning going on with the hip lift. Seems pretty wild to be working core that hard so soon after birth. Nothing wrong with starting diaphragmatic breathing and core engagement work, but this is wild. I agree with that. Like, why are you promoting this? That it's normal, that it might be normal for you, but you're trying to influence other impressionable women that this is normal for you to do this, and it's not. And we've got people just politely pointing out this is no. She said, my abs are fine, thank you. It appears there that she doesn't like that advice. She doesn't like being given that advice, but you can clearly see in her video that yes, she does have that line protruding in the middle of her abs. The person is right about the coning. No, you have clear separation in your rectus. Please go see a professional and stop promoting this BS to vulnerable women. Thank you. And I think that Danny had nothing to say. And then we've got another person said, we don't mind if you don't post for a couple of weeks. We know you're fantastic and stayed incredibly fit within your capabilities during pregnancy, but it's okay to absorb the craziness of a newborn without our approval. So maybe just chill with baby. She just completely just overlooks that. She's, oh no, I'm sleepless, but just so happy. This person is basically saying you don't need to do this. Just take a break. Which then, of course, it does definitely make this seem like it is a obsession. No, I'm sorry, this is just too much for new mums. Pressure, unfollowing, and good luck with your journey. And yeah, I think that she's totally right in saying that. You're an influencer and your job is to influence people. This is not the right way to do it. What you're doing is having the opposite effect. You can see that it is an obsession. I mean, 1 week postnatal, pram walks. Can you not just take your baby out for just a normal stroll? Can you just walk normal? But no, you've got to do the lunges. Your mind is continuously on training. To me, that screams obsession, an unhealthy obsession. You are then promoting to your followers. This is the biggest example of the toxic, harmful influencing with the pregnancy fitness. So yeah, this kind of content to me, it seems like it's less about health. It's more about discipline, more about aesthetics, more about performance. There's this sense of competition out there now, almost, with these fitness influencers. Who can do the best? Who can train the hardest during their pregnancy? Who can train until the very last second of the pregnancy? Train until they're having contractions? Who will show up every day? Have no excuses. Pregnancy is not an excuse. That is very unhealthy. This discipline, this performance, it is not good to push onto followers and for them to be influenced by. I really think it's unhealthy. Now, on the other hand, I've mentioned some of the pros, of course, of fitness influencers and their pregnancy journeys and them promoting their fitness and their workout routines and so on. There are definitely some pros, and some of them are doing it just perfectly and in a healthy way for us to be influenced by and for us to follow. There's a couple that I have saved as my favourites. So I follow Rachel J. Dillon on Instagram. Now, I think that she has been the perfect example of a pregnant fitness influencer.
Come and train full body with me at 30 weeks pregnant. My brain! I've got 6 to 8 heavier reps here. Feeling pretty good today. Lock those lats down, drive up, drive. Ooh, feel good. I want to keep constant tension. 12. Whew. Going into bird dog
She doesn't sound out of breath.
8 to 12 here. We really want to pull down.
Everything is like slow pace, like a nice gentle pace.
A spicy little superset. We really want to stretch with very little bend in the knee.
And she can talk through her workout.
Presses your knee, slight bend forward. We want to keep constant tension on the band.
It's amazing.
Stay nice and braced. And it's picking up like a car seat. We don't want to be leaning over, nice and straight. And that is me, guys. Full body, third trimester.
There's nothing wrong with that. That was a nice workout. It didn't look dangerous at all. It didn't look like she's pushing herself too much. She's not working out until failure. She talked through her workout, which I think is important. That's a way of letting us know what she's doing is manageable. She's able to hold a conversation. She's talking while she's working out. That to me is inspirational. I would follow that workout. And you can see that what she's doing is she's promoting that you just need to take it easy. You need to be comfortable. She looks comfortable. Then we've also got another influencer called Leanne V on TikTok, and she shared the reasons to work out through pregnancy. Reduces backaches, constipation, bloating and swelling, strengthens your body for labour and builds stamina for delivery. It decreases risk of gestational diabetes, preeclampsia and high blood pressure. Aids in faster labour and increases chances of vaginal birth. And you can see her workout is pretty much, it's all body weight. She's in her 3rd trimester. So she's taking it easy. There's nothing that's high intensity about this workout. Walking on the treadmill, body squats, so she's not even using weights. And that to me is amazing. That's what we should be inspired by. It's just about keeping moving. It's just about staying active and healthy. We then also got Jory Francis. Jory Francis is a bit more advanced.
Lift full body with me, very pregnant. As you guys know, I'm doing my pregnancy safe program that is now live in my app. So if you guys want to go check it out, please do. You can find the full details of this workout there. I'm currently lifting 3 days a week right now. That is all this baby will allow. I do 2 full body days and 1 full leg day. As you can see, even on my full body days, I still do quite a bit of leg work just because I'm trying to keep as much glute growth as possible, as well as keeping as much muscle on this body as possible. Hopefully me lifting will help me with my birth and recovery.
She said that, you know, she's doing what her body will allow her to do. She's doing weight training 3 days a week. So she's not promoting in any way about showing up every day no matter what. It's a very healthy approach that she has. She's in very good shape. And obviously she's got a fitness app where she'll share her workouts. Again, a very good example of a fitness influencer to follow during pregnancy. There's no obsession there. So yeah, those were some examples of some fitness influencers that I feel like definitely give out a positive vibe, and they promote pregnancy fitness in a very healthy way. There is no obsession whatsoever reflected in their content. You can see that they follow that whole idea of listening to your body. It doesn't look unsafe, it doesn't look harmful, and it certainly is not toxic in my opinion. Lastly, I'm just going to move on to some posts that I found on Reddit. These are from pregnant women themselves, and it's their outlook on pregnancy and fitness and how they feel about it. I unfollowed every fitness influencer on Insta. For the last 5 or so years, I've been heavily into exercise, swimming, running, and weightlifting mainly. I loved it. Then I got pregnant. The first trimester was brutal. Nausea, vomiting, crazy aversions, and little appetite, and ridiculous amounts of fatigue. So I told myself, it's fine. You can drop the exercise for now. And when you get that burst of energy in the second trimester, you'll get back to it. I'm 27 weeks plus 3 days now, and I'm still waiting. The second trimester was primarily exhaustion, feeling uncomfortable and horrible, low moods. So slowly but surely I began to accept this wasn't going to be the active pregnancy I was hoping for, but at least I was making an effort to get at least 6k plus steps a day. The hardest part has been comparing myself to all the fitness influencers I've followed for years on Insta. In particular, there was this one influencer who got pregnant a couple of months before me. She's been mega active her entire pregnancy. She's got the belly only look and honestly seems to have not struggled with anything. So today I unfollowed them. Maybe not forever, but at least for now. I can't compare myself anymore if I'm going to keep at least a shred of my mental health for these last few months. This is so relatable. She does not have the energy to train, and that's okay. Doing 6k steps a day is an achievement. It's not a bad thing if you lose your pre-pregnancy fitness level. If you're not able to keep up with that, it's not a bad thing. You are growing a baby. So someone's replied, I think this is sensible. This kind of influences make me feel bad about myself too. I had hoped to be healthy and fit through pregnancy, but I just can't see it happening. So far, my morning sickness has been atrocious. I can walk some distance, but that's about all I can do. No way I'm going to be one of those taut, athletic pregnant women. I've known a few women who were, but I can only assume they got lucky or madly fought through it for the sake of staying in shape. Your mental health should be protected as priority. We can hit the gym once our babies are a bit more grown if we want. I love this. It's not always going to work out the same for everyone. Everyone knows all pregnancies are different, all women are different. So it's not going to be the same for everyone, and that is okay. And I think that's important that that message gets put out there. Just remember that these fitness influencers' job is to work out and film it for content. That's sometimes all they have to do in their working day. We have real jobs and daily commutes that take up most of our day and drains us on top of being pregnant. So it's not always practical to exercise half as much as we like or used to. If all I had to do all day was work out and film it, then I'd be toned and fit during pregnancy too. Good for unfollowing them, and good luck with the rest of your pregnancy. That is so true. Influencers have a different lifestyle to, you know, the more regular people who have full-time jobs, who have different responsibilities. Of course, it's more possible for them to keep up with the fitness because there's not really much else for them to do and they get paid for it. Another post was, I just saw an influencer post that she's pregnant, genuinely happy for her, and then posted that she's only missed 4 workouts in the 5 she does a week, and that morning sickness isn't an excuse. No excuses, quote unquote. I'm glad you feel good enough to work out, but get lost with the no excuses energy and making others feel bad for not being able to work out. See what I mean? This no excuses is a toxic thing for them to put out there. I'm how many weeks pregnant, and it doesn't matter if I'm struggling with morning sickness, I'm still gonna make it to the gym. No excuses. Morning sickness is not an excuse. I ran 5 miles the day after I found out I was pregnant. I was so cocky. I was like, hey, I am awesome. I will run through this whole pregnancy. LOL. I haven't run since then. I'm 23 weeks now. It happens. I walked 100 miles in June, which felt good, but then the awful humidity and heat of July hit, and that stopped too. I'm glad for people who work out throughout their pregnancies, but that just ain't me. I'm eating well enough and taking prenatals. I'll be fine. That's it. It's 9 months. If you have to go the whole 9 months and not be able to work out, it's not the end of the world. You will be able to work out. I'm sure you will again one day. Being pregnant and having no energy isn't an excuse for not working out. It's a reason. Unfollow her. She can get the F out with her toxic positivity. And that is really true. It's not an excuse. So if you've got no energy during your pregnancy, that is your body telling you that you cannot work out. It's an excuse. No, it's a reason. When your body tells you something, hey, you can't do that right now, it's fine. Smart. I think that's for unfollowing the influencer. Remember that a lot of these fitness creators are fakers with lipo and surgery, but even if they aren't, remember that Instagram is their job. Would you put yourself to get into the gym if you knew you had to exercise to put food on the table and your income depended on it? Just another perspective. She may have very little choice, or maybe she does really enjoy working out and she has more energy. Just continue to relax and listen to your body. I didn't want to exercise until almost a year postpartum. Instagram is toxic in my opinion because a lot of what you see is smoke and mirrors. They promote a lot of unhealthy and unrealistic stuff. The last video that I'm going to show now, I'm very supportive of videos like this, and I feel like these are the kind of videos that we need to see because they're 1, they're educational, 2, they're way more realistic, and 3, there's no pressure there. And I feel like this would be the ideal kind of influencer to follow. This is an influencer that I follow on Instagram. I think she's great. She's called Maria. She had a twin pregnancy. I think she had a pregnancy before that. She has trained throughout her pregnancies, and she is one of the best examples for good advice, just a great role model and somebody that pregnant women should be inspired by.
You might know that I did train throughout my whole twin pregnancy, stopped 2 days before my C-section. I was super lucky. I had a non-complicated pregnancy and doctors had no issue with me lifting because that's what my body was used to. So if you've always been a gym girly, you can continue lifting during pregnancy, just go super light. And here are some no-nos. High impact sports such as soccer, ab work, and exercises where you lie flat on your back, or twisting motions and high intensity interval training. Or if you've never lifted weights or did it inconsistently pre-pregnancy, then it's not a good idea to start now. Well, in that case, staying active by just walking is absolutely perfect. If you found this information useful, make sure to follow.
And I feel like just in that one video, she has hit the nail on the head and she has said exactly everything that I believe in when it comes to fitness during pregnancy. To recap then, my thoughts on fitness during pregnancy. It is not harmful. It is not bad to train through pregnancy, but I think it is bad to push yourself. It is bad to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. You can do that pre-pregnancy. Push yourself hard. Do things that are outside of your comfort zone. Absolutely go for it. But when you are pregnant, do not do new things that you're not used to. That's my opinion. You don't have some kind of goal of losing weight, high intensity training. No, that's what my opinion is. But we do have some decent fitness influencers that we can follow who can inspire in the right way. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Are pregnant influencers empowering or pressuring? Is it inspiring or is it unrealistic? I'd love to hear your take. So please drop me a comment below, especially if you're pregnant right now or if you've been pregnant. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this from me, if you got any suggestions for future videos, drop them in the comment section below. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more social commentary and cultural breakdowns on social media videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And now I'm gonna go and eat my slice of pizza because that's what I've been craving. I may even have 2 of them. Push the boat out and have 2. We'll see. I'm gonna really enjoy it.